Why is the Pacific Ocean so vast and landlocked? What's the mystery? The Pacific Ocean is super big. So big that it covers more space than all the continents put together. It's so deep and wide that there are many secrets hiding under the water. But there's one mystery about it that might surprise you. To learn about this mystery, you should look carefully at a world map. Have you ever looked closely at the world map? If you did, you might have wondered, why is the Pacific Ocean so vast compared to the other oceans, stretching almost halfway around the globe? Have you ever wondered why the Pacific Ocean is so different from the other oceans? If you look at a world map, you'll see lots of land, called continents, on one side. But why isn't there a huge landmass covering the big Pacific Ocean? Have you thought about why the Pacific Ocean is the biggest and feels kind of empty? Or why can it be more dangerous than other oceans? If you want to know the answers, keep watching the video until the end. Let's start. If you look at the world map, you'll notice most of the continents are on one side, and on the other side, there's an enormous expanse of blue, the Pacific Ocean, taking up almost an entire hemisphere. Have you ever wondered why there's only the Pacific Ocean on one side of the Earth and all the land with continents on the other side? It might seem a little strange, right? The Pacific Ocean isn't just a small body of water. It's huge and makes up about 30% of everything on Earth. Even if you put all 7 continents together, they wouldn't be as big as the Pacific Ocean. A long time ago, all the continents were joined together in one big landmass, covering almost 200 million square kilometers. That special time is called Pangaea. A long time ago, there was a big supercontinent called Pangaea, and around it was a giant ocean named Panthalassa. It was like a huge water world. But then, something changed the shape of the Earth's land. This change happened because the pieces of the Earth's crust, called tectonic plates, started to move very slowly. As they moved, Pangaea began to break apart into different land pieces. In 1912, a scientist named Alfred Wegener from Germany came up with an idea called the continental drift theory. He said that all the continents used to be connected and then slowly drifted apart. At first, many scientists didn't believe him, but over time, they realized he was right, and his idea became accepted as the truth. Imagine all the continents on Earth are like big puzzle pieces. A long time ago, all these puzzle pieces were stuck together to make one giant land, called Pangaea. Over many millions of years, the puzzle pieces slowly moved apart, and now we have the continents we see today. But this movement doesn't stop. Every few million years, the continents might move closer again and join together or break apart into even smaller pieces. So, when I mention names like Pangaea or Panthalassa while talking about the Pacific Ocean, it's because a long time ago, all the land and oceans were connected differently, and the Earth's surface keeps changing over time. Hi friends! Do you know why the biggest ocean in the world feels so lonely? It's because the continents, the giant land pieces, are slowly moving away from each other. A long time ago, about 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth started changing, and the continents began to drift apart and come back together again. Scientists say this has happened 3 times before, and it will happen again someday. You might wonder how these huge land pieces can move all by themselves. A scientist named Wegener explained how this happens through his theory of continental drift, which says the continents slowly shift over Earth's surface, carried by movements in the planet's underlying layers. He explained that the reason continents sometimes break apart and then come back together is because of big pieces of the Earth's surface called tectonic plates. These plates move because of heat deep inside the Earth. Sometimes, the plates move apart from each other, which is called a divergent boundary. When this happens, the land separates and water can fill the space between them. The way these plates move can change over time. This big body of water can be a huge ocean or a small sea because a new layer of rock called oceanic crust was made about 200 million years ago. Because of this, the one big ocean that used to cover everything, called Panthalassa, changed into the 5 oceans we see today. So, all the oceans are still connected as one big ocean. Friends, this change happens very slowly, so slowly that we don't see it happening. For example, Africa is slowly splitting into 2 parts, but we hardly notice it happening. Maybe someday, a new big ocean will form in Africa, and it will be called the Earth's 6th ocean. Friends, there's another way the Earth's crust moves called a convergent boundary. That's when 2 big pieces of the Earth's crust push toward each other. When they do this, they can make huge mountains. The tallest and most famous example is the Himalayas. These mountains formed because the Indian land pushed into the Eurasian land. This pushing is still happening today, so the Himalayas are getting a little taller each year, about 2 centimeters. The big pieces of the Earth's crust, called plates, are slowly moving by tiny amounts, just centimeters. You might wonder why I'm talking about these plates and how they relate to the Pacific Ocean being so empty. The way these plates move affects everything on Earth. The emptiness and size of the Pacific Ocean are mostly due to these moving plates. Under the ocean, there's a huge plate called the Pacific Plate, and it's always pushing against other plates around it. Most of the time, this pushing happens at the edges of the ocean, which are called tectonic plate boundaries. Imagine the Earth's outer layer is made up of big pieces called plates, like giant puzzle pieces. These plates move very slowly, just a tiny bit at a time, only a few centimeters. You might wonder why I'm talking about these plates and how they make the Pacific Ocean so big and empty. Well, the way these plates move changes the shape of the Earth. The Pacific Ocean is so big and open because of these moving plates. Under the ocean, there's a large plate called the Pacific Plate, and it's always pushing against other plates around it. Most of the time, this pushing happens at the edges of the ocean, which are called mid-ocean ridges. Imagine a big, rocky circle all around the Pacific Ocean, made up of mountains and volcanoes. That's called the Ring of Fire. It's like a giant wall made of hot, bubbling volcanoes and tall mountains. This circle is about 400 kilometers long and 500 kilometers wide, and it goes all around the ocean. Because so many huge pieces of Earth's crust, called tectonic plates, bump into each other there, it's the most active place on Earth for earthquakes and volcanoes. About 3 out of 4 volcanic eruptions and earthquakes happen in the Ring of Fire. Since Japan is right inside this circle, it often feels earthquakes and sees volcanic eruptions. You might wonder why the Pacific Ocean feels calm and empty even though the pieces of the Earth's crust there are moving around a lot. Scientists say there are 2 main reasons for this. The first reason is called the Ring of Fire. It's like a big border around the Pacific Ocean, so even though the plates are moving, new land isn't forming there. Underneath the ocean is a really big part of the Earth's crust called the Pacific Plate. This huge plate is always moving and pushing against other smaller plates nearby. Because it's so big and heavy, it puts pressure on the smaller plates around it. No, there isn't a continent there because of how the Earth's plates are arranged. The second reason is inside the Pacific Plate itself. Usually, under oceans, many different pieces of the Earth's crust bump into each other, which can help form continents. But under the Pacific Ocean, there's only one big piece, so continents don't form there. The small islands that appear along the edges of this big plate are usually tiny and don't last forever. Sometimes, they sink or change over time because of movement in the Earth's crust. And there are other reasons too, like erosion, volcanic activity, and changes in sea level that reshape the ocean floor. The islands in the Pacific Ocean are very small and far away from each other. Because they are so spread out, it's hard for big cities or many people to live and work there. This is why the Pacific Ocean feels like a lonely place. So, friends, after watching this, tell me in the comments what you learned today and if you enjoyed the video. Thanks.
Welcome to our channel. Disclaimer: this channel does not promote any illegal activities, and all contents in this channel is for educational purposes only. Our channel based videos promoting for educational tutorials, famous quotes of the world, biological, historical, and geographical facts, genius stories, and biography. Please follow or subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for more videos. Thank you.